Gate receipts from this year's World Creole Music Festival projected to exceed that of previous years. Clear Harbor makes a $10,000 donation to relief efforts for Haiti, and Dominica among the first countries in the world to have measles-free status. I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. The details after this. First up, Dominica's Haiti relief effort has received a sizable financial contribution from a corporate citizen. The latest business to own up to its corporate responsibility was Clear Harbor, Dominica, with a donation of $10,000 towards the Hurricane Matthew relief effort.
Clear Harbor is very excited to be a part of the business community here, and we're very blessed to be able to respond when the Prime Minister asked for businesses to come together to help in a disaster relief effort. The $10,000 that Clear Harbor is donating to this effort is a combination of both the executives that we have in our headquarters location in Atlanta, hearing this challenge and answering this call, as well as our Clear Harbor Cares Foundation, which is located here in Dominica. This team of extraordinary people that we have are very happy to make this contribution and to be able to be a part of Dominica's effort in reaching out to Haiti during such a terrible time.
Consultant with the Office of Disaster Management, Cecil Shillingford, while expressing gratitude for the monetary contribution, said the situation in Haiti is still critical.
We have situations of almost 80–90% of destruction to homes, the total eradication of livelihoods, and people in these areas hurting and in need of relief, food, water, and other commodities. We've had some other donations from the corporate community, for which we are very grateful. And the donation from Clear Harbor is going to augment what we already have and what we hope to continue to receive.
Shillingford gave an update on the shipment of containers of relief supplies dispatched to Haiti last month.
Just 2 days ago, 2 40-foot containers arrived in Haiti with food, water, and other commodities for distribution. It is going to go a long way in assisting the people of Haiti, especially our focused areas like Lacaille, Sud, and Jeremy, 3 communities that were devastated by Hurricane Matthew.
In other lead stories now, revenue from gate receipts from this year's World Creole Music Festival are much higher when compared to that of previous years. However, CEO of Discover Dominica Authority and Tourism Director Colin Piper says it's too early to talk about specific figures. Piper spoke to Johnson John Rose of the Caribbean Tourism Organization about the success of the October 29 to 31st festival. He was at the time attending the World Travel Market in London.
Yeah, the gates, we don't have the details on that right now. Certainly better than years gone by initially, but as to whether we made a profit or not, that's not what we judge the success of the festival by. We look at it in terms of the economic contribution to the destination. I dare say that we'll be pleasantly surprised when the government looks at the period of the last weekend of October and looks at its tax receipts.
Tourism authorities maintain that the festival is not staged to generate a profit, however to stimulate economic activity for the tourism subsectors.
We know, having done value for money studies and looked at ROI in a number of different ways, that this particular festival returns anywhere from $4 to $9 for every $1 invested. And you could see that in terms of hotel rooms being booked out, rental car agencies being booked out, private homes being filled up, supermarkets and grocery stores, shelves being depleted, all for a good cause in the sense that people were coming in, partaking in economic transactions, economic activity, and having a good time on the island.
An official post-mortem of this year's festival took place on Monday evening at the Windsor Park Stadium. For the second consecutive year, T-Orchestre has won the band segment of the NCCU Cadence Lipso show. The band segment of the show, initially guarded for 2nd November, was pushed back to 12th November due to bad weather on the original date. T-Orchestra performed without one of its lead singers, Mel C, but despite that hiccup, Tasha P came on board to help the band secure the title of Cadence Lipso Band Champ for the 2nd year in a row. Second place went to Breathe, while third place went to Signal Band and Lucas Band placed fourth. The first announcement of official sponsorship for 2017 Miss Dominica contestant, as Carla Henry of Maho, was launched in her community on Saturday.
Ladies and gentlemen, Carla Henry.
The activity marked the start of village launches for the 2017 National Carnival Queen contestants. Henry was sash to Miss Henry group of companies by businesswoman Dr. Valda Henry, who announced the family merger to sponsor the contestant at Saturday's ceremony. Carla says she will use the pageant journey to put the spotlight on protecting the vulnerable in our society.
It complements my strong interest in being a voice for people around me who either could not stand up for themselves, were disadvantaged, or marginalized in some way. I aim, especially in my community, to contribute to the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals agenda by achieving some of these goals through the implementation of my platform, namely no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, and quality education. I intend to carry out this platform in the best interest of my community and country by extension.
Henry is a former Miss Dominica State College Queen. Meantime, Parliamentary Representative for Maho, Reuben Blackmore, is encouraging people to support those who do well in their communities.
So very often we criticize our young people, but we adults, and those of us from the community level, as leaders and politicians like me, have to demonstrate this sense of leadership to our young people. And of course, Miss Carla Henry is a young lady of immense character. And I believe we have to celebrate people like that. And our young people, you have to look on to persons like Carla and emulate the good things about her so that you can be a better persons and make your community proud and the country on the whole.
A Geographic Information Systems technician was the second Miss Dominica contestant to officially be launched on the weekend.
Gabriel Abraham of Goodwill is campaigning to develop youth through music. Abraham, a former music teacher, has chosen developing the nation's youth using music as her pageant platform. She told the audience at her village launch on Sunday at the Goodwill Parish Hall that music can steer youth away from trouble.
Teaching such a fun subject as music to children showed me how music can help develop and shape the minds of our youth. Music proved to be a vital element in these children's education and creative development. I believe that it's extremely important that we merge our children's interest in music and the arts with our cultural heritage and its preservation, so that more students are taught to play the local instruments and learn our traditional dances. We don't want our culture to slip away between our fingers.
Abraham, who started learning to read music at 7 years, is advocating for local talent to be pushed at national music events.
The festival has become an international platform where all our local artists, such as Mikael Henson, can display their musical talents, gain exposure, and reap the financial benefits. can showcase our local and upcoming talents, as well as help them to interact with and learn from international artists.
The 23-year-old recently graduated with a bachelor's degree in geography and works at Domlec. Meantime, parliamentary representative for Roseau North says he anticipates that Abraham can emulate the winning streak of a popular Miss Dominica.
Having seen Gabrielle's resume, I am convinced that she is eminently qualified and well balanced to represent Goodwill and to represent Dominica. A bachelor degree in geography, an event planner, and student of the Royal Schools of Music, I really do believe. I am convinced, and I really believe Gabrielle will follow in the proud traditions of 1989 Carnival Queen Marcella Larocque of the community of Goodwill, who went on to successfully cup several of original titles.
And the Kalinago Council is making moves to enhance community tourism in the Kalinago territory, and the Carib Chief would like the financial backing of government and the private sector. Carib Chief Charles Williams says improving the quality of the Kalinago craft items and upgrading vendor stalls is part of the plan. The selling point, however, for Williams is expanding the Kalinago Cultural Festival, which will be hosted for the second time next August holiday weekend.
What I am trying to build in the Carib territory is an economic base. And just like the World Creole Music Festival kicks off for Dominica, so too I am concentrating on Dominica Indigenous Peoples Cultural Festival. So we have the traditional canoeists. I'm in contact with St. Kitts. I am looking to contact other islands of Antigua and St. Lucia. We were in contact with the French islands of Guadeloupe, Martinique. We want to include Marigaland this year, so we want to bring our neighbors down here to participate in that. And we will be in touch with the private sector in Dominica and central government to see if they can give us some assistance to run that festival. Because when this takes off, that is a very, very important tourism product that we're building for the north, not only the Kalinago territory, but we're thinking of Saint-Sauveur, Castle Bruce, Kalinago territory at Kingston and Marigot. So we want to incorporate all those communities there in the project.
You're watching Channel 5 News. Coming up, the importance of reading to children in and out of the womb. Thank you for staying with us. Dominica can now boast of being among the first countries in the world to be measles-free. Here is Andrea Louis with more.
Dominica shares this measles-free status with other countries in the Caribbean and the Americas as the recent historic announcement was made by the International Expert Committee for Documenting and Verifying Measles, Rubella, and Congenital Rubella Syndrome Elimination in the Americas under the Pan American Health Organization and the World Health Organization. This means that children in the Caribbean are now less likely to be affected by measles once they are vaccinated. According to Executive Director of the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARPA, Dr. Eric Hospitalis, no local measles cases have been reported in the Caribbean region since 1991. However, he is cautioning the region against complacency as measles still circulates in other parts of the world. Measles is the fifth vaccine-preventable disease to be eliminated from the Caribbean and countries of the Americas. To date, there has been the regional eradication of endemic smallpox in 1971, polio in 1994, and rubella and congenital rubella syndrome in 2015. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
Labour officer of the CARICOM Secretariat CSMA unit is currently meeting with local stakeholders to better understand some of the challenges they face. Rosa May Witter said the mission is to collect labour market information and use it to formulate policy in order to promote growth and development across the region.
So beyond establishing a regional labour market information system, perhaps there may be a need that can be the root of future projects. On behalf of the CARICOM Secretariat, I extend our profound gratitude to our partner agencies in Dominica for your cooperation in organizing this workshop. We couldn't have done it alone. Also, on behalf of the Secretariat and the region, I reiterate our gratitude to the EU for their continued support.
Meantime, Minister for Justice Reuben Blackmore said as a regional body, we need to remove all impediments that make it impossible and difficult for people with the qualifications to move from one island to the other.
Within the CARICOM catchment to seek gainful employment. We have a history and a reputation for talking a lot and not taking bold and constructive initiative in the interest of the people that we serve within the region. Like Mr. Gregor was just now expressed his commendation to Dr. LeBlanc for actually putting Dominica's case forward.
Blackmore is confident that the implementation of the new system will improve the quality of governance in labor and employment. The workshop ends on Friday. And the President of Dominica, members of cabinet, members of the police force turned out in their numbers to remember fallen Dominicans who served during the World Wars. Here again is Andrea Louis.
Remembrance Day, informally called Poppy Day, is observed in the 52 Commonwealth states except Mozambique on 11th November. In Dominica, however, the observance is held on the Sunday which comes closest to 11th November. The cenotaph, that's the war memorial, bears on it a list of names of Dominicans who served in World Wars I and II. At Sunday's ceremony, 2 minutes of silence were observed in honor of the fallen, following which a trumpeter played the last post, the song used at Commonwealth military funerals, and ceremonies commemorating those who have been killed in war. Prayers were said by members of the religious community, while wreaths were laid by the President of Dominica, government officials, members of the diplomatic corps, and relatives of the deceased. The morning's Remembrance Day ceremony ended with a march past led by the Music Lovers Band and including family members of the deceased, platoons of the Dominica Police Force, Prison Service, Fire and Ambulance Service, and the Cadet Corps. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
And Reverend Dr. William Watty has received the Lifetime Achievement Award from the University of the West Indies Open Campus, Dominica. UWI hosted its third annual Alumni Friends Dinner and Dance on Saturday, where Watty was recognized for the 50-plus years served in the Methodist Church both in the Caribbean and the Americas. Meanwhile, Honorable Roslyn Paul copped the Arts and Culture Award. Fort Young Hotel, the friend of the UWI Award, Agnes Esprit Community Service Award, and Keith Hamlet Alumnus Award. Officer in charge of the UWI Open Campus, Kimon Joseph, said there has been an increase in the number of individuals who participate in UWI events and activities.
This dinner and dance is also joyous because the Open Campus site has decided to name this and future dinner and dance events in honor of Mr. Bernard Dinard, our former site technician. As you know, Mr. Dinard passed away last year. In the months since his death, I have been traveling to schools across Dominica, and it is amazing that everywhere I go, a teacher or principal offers condolences and speaks fondly of him. Mr. D, as he was affectionately called, was well loved by students because of his selfless dedication to duty and his patience and quiet demeanor as he aided students with their technical issues. Even after he retired in 2012, Mr. Dinard continued to be treated as a staff member at our site, and he served as an examination invigilator. That is why it was such a shock to us when we heard of his untimely death 2 days after he invigilated his last exam in December 2015.
Research continues to show the important role that reading to children before and after birth play in keeping their brain constantly stimulated. Early Childhood Development Assistant Officer Vita George says as children mature, the connections that continue to be stimulated will remain strong.
It is important to note that how we do what we do is of paramount importance. We need to get children to be independent learners from very early, to learn to seek out knowledge. We cannot afford to have children's brain wired for lazy work, so to speak, because it has serious implications for their performance at all levels and in all areas as they grow older.
She advised preschool teachers to rethink early childhood development.
For example, if at the early stage we teach children just to circle the letter that the adult has written, we are training the brain to always be dependent on the adult. So instead, we present plain paper, we present the model, we present the guidance, but we allow the child to write the letter on her or his own until she or he gets it right. Remember that the more they practice, the stronger the connections and the greater the understanding.
George says there is evidence which shows sensitive periods at which the brain cells need to be stimulated. This is Channel 5 News. Your sports highlights will return in our next newscast, but your weather forecast is next.
Good evening, viewers. Welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. I am Janelle Macpherson and I'll be your presenter this evening. Infrared satellite imagery today showed a few low-level clouds across the islands today. Generally fair skies were observed. Visible satellite imagery showed fair skies across Dominica this afternoon. Radar imagery indicated some widely scattered showers across the island chain today. The weather for tonight, fair to partly cloudy with a few showers. Tomorrow, partly cloudy to occasionally cloudy with a few scattered showers expected mainly during the afternoon period. Seas tomorrow are expected to be moderate with waves peaking up to 7 feet. Looking ahead for the next 3 days, a slight increase in cloudiness and showers is expected on Wednesday into Thursday as a trough system moves across the area. Throughout the Caribbean tomorrow, partly cloudy to occasionally cloudy skies with scattered showers are expected. On the international cities forecast, rain expected in New York, thunderstorm activity in Miami, overcast conditions in London, partly cloudy skies with scattered showers in Caracas, and fair weather conditions in Beijing. The sun will rise tomorrow at 6:08 a.m. and set at 5:33 p.m. For up-to-date weather information, please visit our website at weather.gov.dm or call the weather hotline at 447-5555. Thank you for viewing and have a good evening.
To end the news, the headlines again. Gate receipts from this year's World Creole Music Festival projected to exceed that of previous years. Clear Harbor makes a $10,000 donation to relief efforts for Haiti, and Dominica among the first countries in the world to have measles-free status. Feel free to contact us at news@mon14thNov2k16News.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. To our viewers around the world, thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.